waiting for this thing if I can.
Welcome to the Lineman Lounge, hosted by Mike and Evo, calling their shots and being outlandish.
Breaking news from the Lineman Lounge. My fantasy football team just took a huge fucking hit. And that also makes it even more likely that the Raiders are going to beat the Ravens on Monday night. Le'Veon Bell is about to be your starter. Latavius Murray is going to go there as well. Jesus, fuck my ass.
Get ready for the thickest podcast in the game. Coming to you from Hangar 6, where sleeves are optional. Strap in. The show starts right now.
Como están, bitches? This is the Lineman Lounge. We are live on a beautiful Saturday. And man, we have got a ton of shit to talk about. Things were a little weird. StreamYard kind of would not let us get into Facebook. So I shared the page there.
Our secondary title of the show is Technical Difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties. That's going to happen. So I will post, periodically throughout the show, hopefully on the Facebook group, kind of redirecting everybody to the YouTube page. You can also catch us on Twitter right now, but the Facebook group is not working for some reason. There is some things that are working. We got YouTube, we got Twitter. The phone line is open. And we've got a busy day. We got some college football going on right now. Big day in college football. We got all the conference championship games going on. Fuck the Big Ten championship game, but there's some good shit on today in terms of college football wise. Let me get my screens set up here. So today is going to be a little disjointed to start, but that's okay because we got some other shit to talk about. When I started the podcast, I really wanted to create good content. I wanted to put out something that people like, because this was always kind of, it's a dream. It was something that
A passion project.
Yeah, it's a passion that I have. I love talking about sports. This allows me to kind of do that and, reach a decent audience. Hopefully that audience will continue to grow. But I always wanted to do something with sports. I was an athlete for a long time. Then when I, stopped being an athlete, I started coaching, and now I do this. So sports has always been a part of my life. And, when you grow up watching nothing but sports, like sports is your life, you kind of start to develop a respect for some people that, who are, I would say, titans in the sports industry, guys that are, the thing that you one day aspire to be. I think of guys like Chris Berman. Whoop! Like, that shit's iconic. Stuart Scott, a guy that was lost to cancer, but he was one of those guys when he's on SportsCenter, that shit was going to be entertaining, and I'm going to tune in because it's amazing that you just have guys like that. And for me,
John Madden, Pat Summerall, I loved that shit.
Oh, yeah. I like calling a game. Some of those guys are amazing. Like, people hated Madden, but I didn't mind Madden. I fucking Pat Summerall is all time.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, almost as important as Pat Summerall is John Madden's turducken as his sidekick. So that was always great.
Yeah. So those are like the guys that he may have deleted it. Don't worry. I'm going to find that shit.
Oh, I had it.
You got it?
Yeah.
One of those guys for me was Keith Olbermann. He was electric on the mic. He did some fantastic things in the sports media industry. But I no longer have any respect for this man. As people around the country may have heard. And you know what? And before, I'm going to have to pour a drink for this because this is really bad. Like I'm probably going to get a little heated while I'm doing this.
No worries. So I've got some of Keith Olbermann's tweets pulled up here, but for everyone, in case you weren't tracking earlier or in this last week, there was a pretty tragic school shooting in Michigan. Some kids died.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to talk about in general. A 15-year-old went into school and started shooting.
Yeah. It is.
It's horrible. It's tough to talk about.
As somebody with kids, this is one of my biggest fears as a parent, is that something's going to happen and then one day my kids are not coming home for some reason. It weighs on my mind. So this is a tragic story. And it's a story that we've seen entirely too fucking often in this country. Now, there was a young man.
Tate Myre, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, Myre. And I apologize if I'm getting that wrong because I don't want to get it wrong.
No. And so Tate was a junior in high school. I believe 17-year-old kid. 16 years old, was a star football player for his school. He was, going out on visits. I believe he went and visited Purdue.
On the varsity team as a freshman originally.
Yeah, so the kid was a stud. Well, he's also a fucking hero. He rushed the gunman during the shooting and tried to, subdue him, and allowed a good portion of his classmates to get away. And Tate ultimately lost his life in this exchange. And it's incredibly sad. There's no words that I can say that can put into context how tragic this is. But the kid's a hero in my mind.
Absolutely.
He saved other people's lives. We are, former military. We understand we weren't necessarily out on the front lines, but one of our jobs as, UAS operators was to, protect other people on the ground so they can go home to see their families. So I completely understand this kid's thinking and why he should be celebrated. Barstool ran an article saying, he rushed the shooter, sacrificed his own life to save his classmates. And that's something that should be applauded, something that should be celebrated.
It's the main, I don't want to even call it a narrative. It's the truth.
It is.
It's what most media outlets are running. Obviously, some politics play into some media outlets and how they want to portray it. But for the most part, it is a celebration of this young man and what he did, regardless of the politics behind it. And until it comes to
Keith Olbermann. And that's where politics once again jumps back in. Now, we've said that this is a sports podcast, right? We don't like talking politics. And today's the day where I'm going to say some things that people are not going to like. If you are a Republican, if you are a Democrat, fuck you guys. Like, seriously, I can't fucking stand you guys anymore. I don't care what side of the coin you're on the same fucking coin. You're no different than one another. And the things that we see from the right and from the left bashing each other has infected all of the things that we're supposed to enjoy in this fucking country. There are very few things in life that are as divisive as religion. I'd say that's probably the number one, right? I mean, wars have been fought. People have been killed over religion.
Pretty much everyone.
In this country right now, I don't think there is anything more divisive than politics. And it needs to fucking stop. I'm so goddamn tired of it. This is asinine. And the things that Keith Olbermann said are asinine. They're wrong. It should not be allowed. So I'm going to read the tweet and how politics plays into this. So on Barstool's post, Keith Olbermann quote tweeted and said, "This kid died to stop a school shooter whose mother echoed the Trumpist fascism of Stooley President and Barstool Sports." This is so utterly fucking tone deaf as to what this young man has done in sacrificing himself to save others, that Keith Olbermann should not be allowed to have a large voice anymore. This is somebody who is attacking a political party to pump a narrative when somebody has just lost their lives in a tragic school shooting. This is not the time to start bringing up fucking politics. I don't care what side you're on. I fucking hate Republicans and I fucking hate Democrats because this is the dumb shit that they do. We got 20% of the country who's far right and far left. And the other 80% in the fucking middle are being held hostage by assholes like this who have no business opening their fucking mouths saying some repugnant ass shit about some kid who is a fucking hero.
Yeah, it's purely just taking away from what was a post to honor that young man, to try to hijack it and spin whatever the political narrative is that Olbermann wanted to spin. Look, I echo Mike's sentiments completely. It's that loud minority that, and it's all you see through the media cycle, and it's unfortunate. This issue, this school shooting, is going to be politicized no matter what. We know that, and it's not worth trying to fight that. But situations like this, where it is no longer, we're not talking about the shooting so much, we're talking about this young man and praising this young man and his actions and what he did. That should be sterile. That should be sterile of the politics. Yes. That should just be something for people to recognize and to applaud him and his actions and to have remembrance of him. And for Keith Olbermann to, again, kind of try to hijack this post because it was put out by Barstool, because there are political backgrounds to Dave Portnoy, it's pretty disgusting. I personally used to love Keith Olbermann. I thought, his sports takes and stuff were funny. But over the past year, 2 years, it's like I've grown to truly hate him. I think that he's no longer a journalist. He's a smut peddler. It's been pretty rough watching him degrade into absolute trash, both in his reporting and I believe kind of as a human being. He's really, with whether it be the pandemic or far left political views that he's pushing, he's using his platform, which used to be one of levity in sports, to now push a political narrative. He's no longer a sports journalist in my mind.
Sports commentator
he's no longer a journalist in my mind. He's a propagandist and someone who's just pushing political agendas via his platform that he built previously on, some decent sports stuff. And obviously he worked outside of sports and journalism as well. But I believe that what he did his best work in was with the sports, and now he just kind of probably should be ousted by the sports community, because I can't imagine that members of sports community, journalism, things like that, really give a damn about his takes anymore.
No, why would you want to associate with somebody who would say something like this? Now, I understand people don't like one side or the other. I get it. Politics, because, it's apparently super fucking important when it's not. But you can't say shit like this. This is fucking wrong. This is so goddamn wrong. Like, if I were Keith Olbermann's mother, I would sue his ass for, I don't know if that's slander or libel, and degrading the memory of my son.
Yeah.
The mother should go after him. This is absolutely disgusting. I don't understand why people feel the need to inject this bullshit into everybody else's lives. Like, you want to be a political person, cool, do your thing. I don't understand fans of politics. It blows my fucking mind. Like, I root for this side, or I root for this side, or this guy's awesome. Those fucking assholes work for us. Like, they should not be these fucking celebrity goddamn people who they've turned into because this media circus that fucking follows all of this dumb dog shit. They're not, you picked them. Okay? They work for you. They're not special. As quickly as they can be fucking voted in, they can be voted out. Stop putting out shit like this because it fits your political narrative. This is a tragic story. Okay? This is not a sports story. The only reason we're talking about this is because this was brought up by a sports personality, and the kid was a damn good athlete by all accounts. Was getting D1 looks, going on visits as a fucking junior. But this is so unbelievably fucking wrong. I don't know. I can't do this anymore because it's just going to piss me off for the entire fucking episode.
That's, at the end of the day, we have a bit of a platform here. I understand that our audience, at least right now, is fairly small, fairly condensed in the grand scheme of things, but it's a platform for us to be able to kind of talk about things that really grind our gears, that we get emotionally invested in, things like that. And that's the opportunity that we're wanting to take here. Is we've talked about different social issues and things as long as they revolve generally around sports on this podcast. I know that a lot of people possibly aren't tuning in for that sort of stuff. They're tuning in for our sports takes, which, good, bad, whatever. That's great. But we still want to make it known when things like these impact us in at least some sort of personal manner, because we try to keep it real on the podcast with you guys. This is the foundation of the podcast. Was we have talks about sports and things in the sports realm while we're at work. We like to bullshit, and we want to be able to bullshit like we do, in a social setting with you guys here live on the internet, and kind of bring that experience to you. This is something that we would be talking around, bullshitting around the table at work, talking about this stuff. So that's why we're talking about something that does unfortunately inject politics into this issue. But if you're ready to move on, we got some more news stories to kind of talk about.
Yeah, we do got some other news stories before we actually get into talking about the sports that are going on and sports coming up this weekend.
So I got one that I want to talk about. So we recorded last Saturday, and then on Sunday, November 28th, something that's kind of personal to me. One of the greatest golfers or greatest golf pioneers ever died, Lee Elder, African-American golfer. Like I said, he was a pioneer. You really did not see African-American golfers playing in professional golf. We wouldn't have a Tiger Woods without him, probably. But potentially the best golfer of all time, in Tiger Woods.
I would put Tiger as the best.
And
he just doesn't have the majors.
Yeah, so many young men and women, people of color, were able to get into golf, get into professional golf because of this man. So rest in peace to Lee Elder. And then the other thing for me is my boy Sack Daddy. So as we kind of talked about before, Everson Griffin had a mental break of some sort, had issues where there was a firearm involved in his house and you needed to get mental help. He has come out and said that he does in fact have bipolar disorder, that he's not going to be hiding it anymore, that he wants to be an advocate for mental health. For all intents and purposes, it sounds like he's getting the help that he needs right now. Team's obviously behind him. We're behind him. So it's good to hear that he is kind of not necessarily back out in the public space like that, but that he obviously is in a better mind space now. And hopefully that bodes well for him in the future. Yeah.
So on Lee Elder, I mean, he is a pioneer of the game. Like we talked about, he was he the first professional black golfer? Or?
I don't want to speak out of context. I'm not positive, but I believe that he is either the first or one of the first. At least
he was the guy.
He was the best of the first several, if not the first.
And they tried to do a celebration of the man not too long ago. And I don't remember who it was that was fucking trying to peddle golf balls while they were doing the celebration. It's another thing I could absolutely go off on. Like when people are being recognized, you take the opportunity when you're dealing with a pioneer of a sport, especially if you are involved in that sport, you should probably take notice, pay a little fucking respect. Man, I'm gonna be hot today. And then with
he was the first African American to play in the Masters.
First African American to play in the Masters.
And as I believe a lot of people know, or maybe you don't if you don't follow golf, Masters played at Augusta National. Augusta National didn't even allow a black member until 1990. As shitty as it is to talk about, golf is seated in a lot of racism. It was considered a white elite sport for a long time. It probably is by many.
I would imagine. Then Tiger came in and fucking kind of started whipping all the white boys' asses.
Yeah. And like I said, Augusta didn't allow its first black member until 1990. And it was, as much as Augusta is heralded, it does have a pretty dark past.
It does. It is the most exclusive golf membership that you can get. It's almost fucking impossible to have one. Was 1990. I think Condoleezza Rice was the first woman admitted as a member of Augusta National. 2012. And she was the first woman, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So they're a little bit behind the curve, obviously. So playing in the Masters is no small feat. First black man to do that it's something that absolutely should be celebrated. And his passing is a sad one. It's just, I would love to see more, black athletes, more just really in golf in general. We're finally starting to get a little bit out of the rivalries. We need some more fucking like animation, some more hype to golf, because there's some dudes that can fucking swing some sticks, but there's no real good storylines anymore, with the exception of probably Brooks and Bryson.
And they just kind of handled their beef. They didn't. Obviously, afterwards, they still were kind of going at each other a little bit.
They don't fucking like each other. That golf needs some excitement. Like, give me some. I don't know if I want Happy Gilmore shit. I would tune in and watch it, but I don't know. I don't think that would play well with the mass majority of the people that watch golf.
There's something to be said about golf being kind of that kind of proper sport. There's a lot of almost like, the chivalry and things like that involved with it. However,
I mean, you call penalties on yourself.
Yeah. As a fan of the game, I like to see it grow. This over the pandemic, golf exploded. It was one of the only sports that people could do
correct
out in public, even in places that were on strict lockdowns. A lot of times you could still go out and play golf because you were outdoors, you were socially distanced.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were socially distanced more than others, like ourselves, where we're hitting fucking balls into God knows where.
Yeah, I'm playing
other
golf,
than
right, left.
Yeah, other than being on the actual fucking course. It was a lot of fun. So you get to go out there, you get to play, you get to learn the game, and then you're like more interested in golf overall. So you're going to start watching a little bit more on TV. The addition of the matches that they've had, where they'll team up other professional sports athletes with professional golfers, and then
I think that's really cool.
It's awesome. Those matches are awesome.
Yeah.
And then, like we just kind of alluded to, we had Bryson and Brooks, who have had some sort of a beef to squash. They just played in a match against each other. Brooks Koepka won that one, which I believe a majority of people were expecting. Bryson's game is the long ball. Yeah. He's a very good golfer overall, but his game is the long ball.
Chicks dig the long ball.
And Brooks is more of a overall just very good golfer. So Brooks ended up taking that one. But I would like to see more stuff to bring in the youth fans, if you will, without degrading the game as much as possible. So it's cool to see the game growing. I do agree with you. I'd like to see some more entertainment type stuff. I think more of the addition of being able to hear the golfers or talk to the golfers as they're playing like they do in the match would be really cool.
Right.
Now these golfers are like so intensely fucking focused when they're playing
Yeah.
that having a conversation with a sports broadcaster probably isn't going to be the normal thing. But when you get people more like a Bryson or something like that, who are going to want to chip back and forth,
absolutely.
with the announcer, I could see that happening. So that'd be pretty cool.
That would be. So hey, do me a favor, toss the phone number up there. So guys, the phone line is open. Should be the fifth one down, second one up from the bottom. There we go.
There she is.
All right, so guys, the phone line is open. So if you have, if you want to call in, talk about any of the things that we've been talking about, please feel free to do so. And then on to your boy Sack Daddy. I saw was Instagram post where he came out and said, you know what, I have bipolar disease. I'm not going to run from it.
Yep.
I'm going to, kind of be hopefully a vocal leader and, tell people that this is an acceptable thing, and he's going to start getting help. I think he does probably want to come back if he can find a way to do both.
Honestly, I feel like that's probably going to be, he doesn't want to stop playing.
Right.
Obviously, he's still got a lot left to tank. But like I said last time, I'm more concerned with him being healthy for himself and being healthy for his family. And so if he never plays another snap of football, that's perfectly fine with me. But I feel like he's that type of guy. He's got the drive. He wants to find a way to come back and play. So specifically, his Instagram post said, "It is true. I am bipolar. I will embrace it. I will be an advocate for mental health. I've been running from it for a long time. I'm not ashamed of it anymore. It all started when my mother passed away. I went into a dark place, thought I was great for many years. I promise this time I'll do everything the experts say, and my wife. I love my family and I miss my friends. Thank you all for the love and support, but most of all, thank you for all the prayers. Be great, mental health awareness."
Yeah, so that's a really good thing. I think it's really important. We talked about it this last episode. There are more people who are, becoming vocal about the things that they've gone through, so other people know that, hey, listen, you're not on your own. This is something that we can go at together. It doesn't. This doesn't have to be a journey all on your own. And I think that's important, especially with people who are dealing with mental health. A lot of times I think they feel like they're probably stuck on their own, but they're not. And now that we're seeing more and more people in a higher profile come out and be honest about it, it's a great thing. And hopefully people will start to, become okay with, doing those things and, seeking the help that they need. I know there was, for the longest time, once again, going back to us being in the military, there's a huge stigma around people who went and saw mental health. And hopefully that, I don't know, hopefully that's starting to go away. It's the military, so there's always going to be certain things that pop up with that. But
yeah, and I mean, look, for what it's worth, I've gone and seen the head doc there with the Army. I saw him when I got out. I have issues with memory that's linked to stress and stuff like that. Whether or not it's post-traumatic stress, I don't think so. But I have my own issues. It sucks to go talk to those people because you feel like there's something wrong with you, and maybe there is, but they're there to help. And it's not that big of a deal. It's not that bad. Taking care of yourself should be number one, regardless of what anyone wants to say. So by all means, people should be going and seeking help that if they need it. And for Everson, for him to come out and say that he's bipolar, I know that obviously he's had these issues with his mental health in the past. He's never explicitly come out and said that he's bipolar or what the issues are. I think him opening up about what these things are is an acceptance of, hey, this is a real situation. It's not just kind of small issues that happen every now and then. He's accepting that. So like I said, hopefully he's able to work through this as much as possible, get the help that he needs. It's going to be a continuing thing for him from here on out. So wish him the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope he gets healthy. And if he does get healthy, I'd love to see him come back and keep playing because he's a stud. So
absolutely.
And then one other little storyline that I'd like to talk about. We kind of alluded to this possibility on the last podcast. There has been a suspension in the NFL due to falsifying COVID vaccine cards. Now, we talked about the possibility that we don't know if Antonio Brown had falsified his vaccine card, but if he did, this may actually be the time where a suspension comes down, whereas we didn't see a suspension with Aaron Rodgers because the league knew his status. He was transparent with the league, with the team about what his status was. AB was not forthright with that information. He lied, falsified documents, and now he receives a suspension on top of 2 other individuals, I believe also with the Bucs organization.
Yeah, well, they at least one of them was. So they're being suspended for misrepresenting their vaccine statuses. What that exactly means, we don't know. Obviously, there's the allegations of them making fake cards or fake vaccine statuses. But it was Antonio Brown, backup safety Mike Edwards, and now free agent wide receiver John Franklin III. And Tampa had waived him in August. So if he were to get picked up by another team, then he has to sit for three weeks. But they all received 3 suspensions. They've all accepted it. They've all decided not to
I don't know.
Was it not arbitrate it or fight it? That if the name John Franklin sticks out to anybody, he was on Last Chance U on Netflix as well.
Oh, okay.
I believe he was a quarterback at the time or something like that. Regardless, he's not on a team currently. So AB out for 3 games after sitting out the past 4 weeks or so with an ankle injury. Sucks for my fantasy team.
Right.
But he is going to be suspended for the next 3 games by the NFL.
Yeah, and I kind of figured that this would be, if that happened, this is where it was going to come down. If there's going to be a suspension for COVID, it's going to be people lying about their status, people falsifying cards. Obviously, you can't do that. It's become this whole ordeal.
And honestly, I'm not surprised that the NFL went after Antonio Brown versus an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that the NFL really likes, and they don't like going after quarterbacks or things like this, whereas Antonio Brown has had a pretty rough history with the NFL. And so if someone's going to be a punching bag, it would be him.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy target. This is hey, AB, get the fuck out. I mean, now, do I think that they would still suspend other people? Yeah, absolutely. But this is the easy place to set the precedence because it's Antonio Brown. Just like John Gruden may have been an easy target for the emails that we still are waiting to fucking hear about. This is the easy target. Then people are kind of expected and rightfully expected that there should be a suspension coming down. I wasn't sure if the league was going to go that far. I don't know if it was in the collective bargaining agreement that they could be suspended. So I'll be interested to see what the NFLPA does about this if that's not in the CBA. So I don't think the saga here is over unless AB just says, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to take the suspension and we'll.
I believe he did. The NFLPA was representing him in this during the investigation. And I believe at the end of it, it was just like he's not going to fight it at all is the last that I had seen. But you did bring up John Gruden. I guess one other little piece of news is RG3 put out a tell-all book.
Yeah.
Surviving Washington, where he's going to detail his experiences, quote, including sexual harassment and medical mismanagement during his time with the Washington football team, one of the most dysfunctional franchises in all of sports, he says. So
I don't disagree there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Obviously, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of let's go after Washington football team right now.
Right.
Another soft target. So I think the book might be out now. I'm not positive. I guess it'll be interesting. I'm not going to read it, but I'm sure people are going to come through there and pull out, interesting anecdotes. So it'll be released in August 2022. So.
Okay. I'm very interested to see what comes out of this book. I'm not going to read it, but I'm also not going to read it because RG3 is, I believe the things he's going to put in his book are right, but he's also kind of, faking the funk. He's capitalizing on an opportunity because RG3 is the same guy that said at the beginning of the year, man, I can't wait. I want to play in the league again. Send me back to Washington. There are fucking tweets showing that he's asking to go back to Washington. If it's that dysfunctional, if it's that bad, Why the fuck's he asking to get back in the league and go to Washington?
He just wants that money.
Because he wants the money.
You want that money.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Get your bread, man. I got no problem with people wanting to get money, but this is a money grab, this book. I think there will be some very important things that come out in this. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. If the NFL is going to have to do a PR push to try to stifle some of the information that comes out in this book. But yeah, it'll be interesting. This is a money grab.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Because he already tried it once.
At this point, I just don't really care. I just want to know everything. I want to know all the dirt that's going on in Washington because, yeah, we've only kind of brushed over the top of it, I think. But all right, man. If we don't got any other big stories, we can talk some college football here.
Yeah. So let's talk some college football. I don't got any other stories. Not that won't pertain to something else that we're going to talk about during the game picks. So going on right now, we got Baylor, Oklahoma State. Baylor currently up 21-6. Oklahoma State needs this win if they want any chance of getting into the playoff. Alabama has a huge game today against Georgia.
Yep.
If they get blown out and Oklahoma State comes back and gets this win, there's a chance Oklahoma State slides up into that number 4 spot and represents the Big 12 in the playoffs.
And that would be assuming as well that Cincy wins their game versus Houston, number 21 Houston today, and Cincy would move from number 4 up to a 3 or a 2 possibly.
Yep.
So that's another big game going on.
Also, Michigan has got to serve, and beat Iowa if they're going to stay in.
Yep,
there's a lot of crazy
number 2 Michigan and number 13 Iowa, which I expect Michigan to blow Iowa out personally, but in the line for that is minus 12.5 for Michigan.
Yeah, it's not
I
close.
expect that to happen, but there are a lot of really big games that are heavily implicating what the college football playoff is going to be this year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just so normally on, championship week, we'll see 1 or 2 games that are deciding. We just named at least 4 that all have playoff implications. That SEC championship game is going to be massive. If Georgia spanks Alabama, which I don't know that they will, Georgia's obviously getting in. If Alabama barely beats Georgia, Alabama's in, and then Georgia probably stays in too at least number 4, squeaks their way in.
I can't imagine unless Georgia got absolutely butt fucked in this game that they would ever fall out of the top 4.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. So if Georgia gets that win, they're for sure in. Alabama may be out depending on what happens elsewhere in the country. Because if Oklahoma State goes down, say Michigan wins, say Cincinnati wins and Georgia wins, can Alabama be number 4 still at 2 losses? Who's number 6 right now? Wasn't that Oregon who just got spanked?
Oregon was 10.
10. Who is
10, and they got beat by number 17 Utah.
Is that Ohio State with the fucking outside chance to go and get their dicks kicked in?
Oh wow!
Because they will if we have to play fucking Georgia.
Let's pull up the standings. Internet's going slow.
Yeah, fucking internet in this house has been terrible recently. I was really happy that we moved into this room because we're closer to the router.
Notre Dame.
Oh, God damn it. Notre Dame getting in at number 4, I feel like is a very unlikely possibility. Georgia is going to have to absolutely fucking smack Bama for that to happen, for them to leapfrog. Now, Oklahoma State is getting smacked right now by Baylor.
They are.
Yeah. So,
and Ohio State's number 7.
Yeah, Ohio State's not getting in. I'm very happy for that. Looks like if Michigan wins, they're going to the playoff. We'll be the next highest seeded team. We will go out to the Rose Bowl and play Utah, winners of the Big 12 or the Pac-12. So that'll be a fun game. Rose Bowl is always dope. I love watching the Rose Bowl game. At this point, I'm close enough that if I wanted to, I could go. However, I don't make any money doing this podcast, so I don't have the extra funds. And Christmas is right around the corner. So
this is true.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a birthday.
There is a birthday. My daughter is turning 4 on the 7th. Party is tomorrow, and it's going to be a good time. Our sideline reporter for the Eagles, Bobbert Goblin, this is the first time he's ever been invited to a child's birthday party.
Yeah.
Did not understand what was going on.
That makes sense.
Yep. He's like, so like,
A little socially
what
awkward.
do I do if I don't have kids? Like, literally, when birthday parties for kids this young, that's an excuse for the parents to get together, hang out, drink some beer.
I mean, there's going to be Sunday football on.
And there's going to be football.
Yeah,
There's going to be football on.
That's perfect.
So, and he's like, well, what do I get her? I was like, girl shit. Just get her some girl shit, man. Ask the wife, and she'll know what to do. You guys will figure it out. You'll be fine.
Look,
I mean, if you just show up with alcohol,
this awesome pink drum set, not to spoil it,
mother, I swear to Christ,
and an air horn that's been bedazzled.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like things that would come as birthday gifts. My mother at one point did that. She got all 3 kids, a percussion instrument set for Christmas. When we were visiting them up in Colorado when they lived there, and I wanted to strangle my mother. I was like, why the fuck did you do this? She's like, kids need to learn how to play instruments. I agree when they're a little older, and it doesn't include them just banging on shit. She
knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah, she absolutely did. She thought it was funny, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because this is payback for when I was a tiny asshole, making a shit ton of noise around the house when she was my age. So,
absolutely.
All right. College football, I think that's about it. I mean, I'm kind of pumped for that Bama game.
Yep. Oklahoma State and Baylor just went to halftime. It's still 21-6.
I mean, we got NIU at Kent. That's a riveting game. NIU smacking the fuck out of Kent 17-0, though. Michigan, Iowa, we talked about. Utah already got the win, beat the ever-living piss out of Oregon again. So I think we're just about done with the college football stuff. Does not look great for my parlay because I had Oklahoma State.
My Gophers won last week. They got Paul Bunyan's axe, baby.
Hell yeah.
I'm all about that.
I mean, I think I did pick Minnesota to win last week. Yeah. I've been big on, but we talked about I love PJ Fleck. Needs to stay in college.
And I think he will. They're actually bringing him back. So
they better sign him to a big fucking contract because there's some jobs that just opened up.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we should talk about for college football is some of the things that have happened around college football. Some of them I don't exactly understand either. Lincoln Riley is going to be the new head coach at USC, leaving an Oklahoma program that was pretty much in the running for a playoff spot every year, going out to the Pac-12 that has not had a representative in the playoffs. So is Lincoln trying to go back, resurrect USC and be in a big market? Like, I understand Oklahoma it's in the middle of the country. There's probably not a lot of shit around Norman. I don't know. I've never been there, but it's Oklahoma, and Lincoln seems like he's a young guy. Fucking LA probably suits him pretty damn well. We'll have a good time out there.
I mean, I would assume that it's going to be a better launching pad into the NFL if that's something that he wants to do in the future.
So this is not – I don't think this is the job that he stays at for very long. I think this is a launching pad to maybe get a little – I mean, he's been talked about before for NFL jobs, but that USC job, to me, it's not appealing. I don't – since the scandal and Reggie Bush had his Heisman taken away, that he should absolutely fucking have back – they have been terrible. So maybe he wants to go resurrect SC of old from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Might be the case.
We've seen guys go to programs like that just it doesn't work. Like Miami is still basically irrelevant, and they were one of the most dominant fucking teams in the country in the 90s and the 2000s. USC, same way.
I do think that because of the name, image, likeness stuff, that we're going to start to see some of these franchises resurrected a little bit, especially in states that have a tax situation that's good for the player.
Fucking USC is going to have the worst tax situation.
Right. They're going to have the worst tax situation, but they also are one of the largest markets.
That is correct.
So that's going to offset some, I believe. I think that will still bring some good players in there. But like, brought Miami, I think Miami is actually going to see a heavy resurrection in their program because Florida just does not
They don't tax anything.
shit.
They don't fucking
So
tax anything.
and players love going down to South Beach.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, South Beach is awesome.
yeah. So I could see that being a fun spot for players to go, and we might in the next 2-3 years start seeing a little bit more of a resurgence from Miami.
That would be good. I mean, one of those teams in Florida has to not suck.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there has been some moves like you talked about. We've got Lincoln Riley going. We got Brian Kelly going over to LSU. Notre Dame, they actually just promoted their defensive coordinator, Marcus Freeman, to become the head coach there. Which, if I'm not mistaken, Brian Kelly's not coaching them for the rest of the year.
I don't believe so. I think he is done. He has been introduced as the LSU's head coach already. If he were
Which
not
is pretty
introduced,
shitty for Notre Dame's program since they
but they do this all the time. These fucking
right?
college coaches are douchebags, and they fucking leave. They recruit these kids, and they're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, fucking deuces."
Yeah.
And there's no repercussion. Whereas a kid, well, now they have the transfer portal, which is important to allow them to transfer one time and not lose a year of eligibility. But yeah, this is fucking commonplace. Where do you think
Spencer Rattler goes?
Arizona State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I was talking.
That makes sense.
I was talking with Spicy Mike about this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe he'll come back to Arizona and help the Wildcats out. But Spencer's from a much northern part of Arizona. He probably wants to play for a guy who's been to the big show, been in the NFL, and Herm Edwards, and can help progress his career. So I can see Arizona State getting Spencer. Whatever team gets him, I think will probably get better because he's not going to go to one of these big time programs.
Which means that he'll generally be playing against lesser competition. Hopefully that can help him revitalize his career.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. On another note, on the transfer portal, Quinn Ewers is out at Ohio State. He has entered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew that was fucking coming after the way CJ Stroud kind of came on late in the season. I mean, he's probably going to New York for the Heisman Trophy celebration. I don't know. I don't think he's going to win it, but he's going to be there.
Yeah.
And Quinn Ewers left high school an entire year early, has over $1 million in NIL deals. And I'm sure those NIL deals have a little bit of incentives tied to you got to actually fucking play. Like, we're not paying you if your ass is sitting on the bench. So he's going to transfer. Looks like Texas is kind of top of the list right now, which is the most Texas thing in the world to happen. Because Quinn will probably be pretty decent. I would have liked to see him compete, but I understand. He wants to go somewhere where he could possibly start right away. Texas is a great spot, but Arch Manning's number one choice in college right now is Texas. So how fitting would it be that Texas is going to lose out on Arch Manning, the greatest quarterback prospect coming out in a while?
I honestly felt like Arch Manning was going to be staying in Mississippi.
So I thought that he was going to kind of go and forge his own trek. I mean, he has SEC ties, his fucking grandfather, his uncles. But I think he wanted to do his own thing. And Texas was number one on his list. If Quinn Ewers goes there, why would Arch go there? He wouldn't. And if it's me picking between Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers, I want Arch.
Yeah, probably.
I think Quinn
the lineage is the difference maker.
Yeah,
between the two.
It absolutely
otherwise, we don't know a ton.
We don't know anything about them other than what they did in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn was number one recruit. Arch is, I believe, the number one quarterback in his class. But Arch has so much room and resources to grow as a player that I would take that potential over Quinn Ewers.
I mean, Ewers does have a fantastic mullet. There has to be something to be said about that. But I'm same ilk. It's Arch Manning.
Yeah.
You don't have a father, two sons, all become
and
great
Cooper,
to pretty good NFL quarterbacks.
They're all. Eli's going to the Hall of Fame. He's got 2 fucking Super Bowls.
Yeah, he probably is.
Yeah. Whether we agree with that or not, he's probably going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he beat the GOAT twice for Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's probably going in. And Cooper, it was no slouch of an athlete either until he was hurt and could no longer play. He was getting D1 offers as well. So the kid that is a born-bred athlete. I hope he doesn't do the Quinn Ewers route where he tries to forego a senior season. I don't think there's anybody I don't know a junior in high school from my years of playing, from coaching, from observing, that is ready to make the jump as a junior to go play big time D1 fucking football and actually contribute to the team.
Like I said, I watched Arch Manning play in a high school game on YouTube a couple weeks ago. Kid's got a great arm. He's got legs.
Yeah, which is surprising as shit.
It's just the decision-making stuff right now, which I feel like he's a couple years away from being able to be that big of a contributor to a college program, which is perfect because he's a couple years away from, graduating type thing. So it would be a perfect situation for him to wait. I would caution him not to rush.
I agree. Absolutely.
His time will come.
I think the Quinn Ewers thing was
Quinn Ewers was originally committed to Texas.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe he's being,
Texas is probably the number one school, and that's probably where he's going.
But we'll see.
Bryce
Young probably win the Heisman, right?
I think that's probably who I would put. But I don't know if is Bryce Young that much better than CJ Stroud. I don't know. We'll get a good look tonight against the best defense in the country.
That's true.
Oh, I gotta copy this YouTube link again.
Okay. Well, are you ready to move on to NFL football?
I think so.
God damn it! I got something up in my eye. Hopefully, it's not jizz.
Oh.
So Thursday night we had an NFL game going on between the Cowboys and the Saints. Dan Quinn led Cowboys team.
Yeah, fucking Dan Quinn getting a dub.
Yep, and old Taysom Hill starting for the Saints.
Yep. So Taysom Hill had a great one game showing. Ran the ball pretty well. Doesn't throw it very well, but we already knew that.
Look, favorite receiver, Trevon Diggs.
Yeah,
he's out there somewhere.
Trevon Diggs is fucking electric, dude. He is insane. But Taysom's not a quarterback. He is not going to complete probably more than 56% of at his best. 56.
He's your classic wild card only type quarterback that you'd see in college and stuff.
Yes.
It's a great gadget player to have. It's just not a thing that you should be running full time if you can avoid it. And obviously they didn't think that they could avoid it, though they had Trevor Simeon on the bench. I think that his arm's a little bit better. I wouldn't have been surprised. Or if I was Sean Payton, I would have run more of a 50-50 look with them because you get Taysom Hill out there. You don't know what's happening. You don't know if he's going to throw a fucking duck or if he's going to run the ball, which is what Taysom Hill is there for. And then if you have Simeon out, then it's probably going to be a pass, but they could still hand the ball off to Ingram or something like that.
They could, absolutely.
So it adds a little bit of that element to the defense. They're not going to know exactly what's going on. There could be a lot of different things happening depending on which quarterback's out on the field, but they stuck with Taysom the whole time, despite him fucking his finger up.
Yeah, so that's the thing. He had a great one-game showing. He's probably not fucking playing next week because he has potentially torn a ligament in his middle finger on his throwing hand. Mm-hmm. So now we're back to Trevor Simeon. I expected the Cowboys to win. I didn't think Taysom would, be as productive because I figured they know Taysom's going to run. You don't have Alvin Kamara in the backfield. Mark Ingram's not a bad back by any means, but if you have Alvin Kamara back there, that creates a little bit of different problem for a defense because Alvin Kamara is a game breaker. He can fucking take one 90 yards to the house. You can catch it out of the backfield, do a lot of things. You're not getting that out of Mark Ingram. So I figured they would hone in on the zone read and key on Taysom. That didn't happen. But the Cowboys do get a big win. They got 4 fucking picks in that game.
Yeah, it was Cowboys defense all day. And I mean, 4 interceptions, one of them returned for a touchdown. Big day for the defense. A lot of that was Taysom Hill at quarterback. I mean, he was throwing up some ducks. And there were several interceptions left out there as well. Yeah. So This game actually got closer than it needed to be as well because of a late game pass to, I believe, Deontay Harris.
The same guy we were just talking about. It was Deontay Harris.
I believe
the
so.
Little number 11, the fucking
where
faster than shit. Electric.
He ran left, right, all over the field, and ended up taking one in for a touchdown towards the end.
It looked like a goddamn punt return.
Yeah, it definitely did, which pissed me off because I was playing the Cowboys defense in fantasy, which great showing for him with 4 interceptions and a defensive touchdown, but giving up that late touchdown
TD.
ended up losing me like 3 points or so on the total scoring system. But still a great game by the Cowboys defense. The offense looked okay. Dak should have done better.
Yeah, I thought
he still threw, like 280 something yards, but threw a pick.
It would have been super cool if Amari Cooper had caught some more fucking passes. I had him on a same game parlay, did not hit because he caught one pass early in the game for like 41 yards, caught another one for nothing, and then did shit for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard is a stud. He's so fucking fast. Tony Pollard is probably going to make himself a lot of money this offseason.
Yeah, he also took himself one in for a long run, right?
Yep. So Tony Pollard is very, very good. I have been waiting for him to kind of take a bigger role in this offense. I have him on my fantasy team.
That's the thing is I'm still not convinced that he's a lead back.
I don't think he's a lead back, but I need him. I think he's a 50-50 share guy.
He should be.
He should be, right? Yeah. And so
I could even see him. I mean, obviously a lead back would be the one that's taking the majority of snaps. I could still see him being a 60-70% workload type of guy.
Yeah, but he needs an extra guy to help him and relieve some of that load. There are very few backs in this league right now who can take 100% of the load. I mean, Derrick Henry.
Giggity.
Yeah, but outside, I mean, Nick Chubb, I guess, could, but why? I wish we'll get to that. No, but so yeah, he's going to make himself some money this year. I was a little disappointed with the way Dak has looked over the last couple weeks. Actually, it has not been the explosive offense that we saw that pushed the Bucs in week 1. It's been very kind of reserved. Now the injuries have hurt that team very badly. Having CD out for a long time, having Amari Cooper out, those guys are going to work their way back in, and hopefully you can start to see that little bit more explosive offense. It just hasn't happened. The only explosive person they've had on offense over the last couple of weeks has been Tony Pollard. Takes one to the house on a kick return on Thanksgiving, fucking breaks a long run, and I don't know what the fuck the safety was thinking that he was going to slow play him and then push him out.
He took a weird angle. He was not wanting that cutback to happen. He didn't want to look like a fool on a cutback. But because of that, he slow played the run down the sideline to the point that
couldn't
Pollard
catch him.
Was just able to kind of, speed
Pollard,
right by him.
Hey, by the way, Pollard's fucking fast, like super fucking fast, faster than the safety was. So I didn't. Hey, but it was great for me. Got me some extra fantasy points.
It does make you question Kellen Moore and his play calling because it does seem like the offense has slowed down a little bit.
A little stagnant.
And maybe there's reasoning behind that. Maybe it's because the run game isn't really much of a threat anymore other than Pollard, but Pollard's that kind of big game break potential type play where
that's why he needs a 50. That's why he needs a 50-50 share with Zeke.
Yeah.
Zeke's your between the tackle guys. Fucking pound it, wear the defense down a little bit, then hit Pollard on a fucking outside zone, get him on a sweep, something. I would like to see both of those guys in the backfield at the same time. I think that would be really fucking cool, but
they did do a little bit of that where it was like a triple wishbone type setup every now and then. You were seeing 3 guys in the backfield.
That's a set that they could use more, and I think would really put a lot of stress on the defense. That just Kellen Moore's getting a little bland, I think, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it was because of the injuries. We didn't want to push those guys too much coming back.
Maybe. Hopefully we see a little bit more out of them in the coming weeks because. I mean, the Cowboys were looked at as one of those NFC contenders.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're plateauing right now, it's not the time of year that you want to do that.
No, this is the time where you want to be hot. If you are limping into the playoffs, it's not great. We've seen teams be fantastic all throughout the year and limp into the playoffs, a la the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, who came out and got their fucking dicks kicked in by my Cleveland Browns. So this is the time where you need to start hitting your stride. You know who your team is. I believe this is the last week for bye weeks. So now everybody, this is it. This is where you ramp up. This is where you start making that fucking progress.
Yep, absolutely. All right, you ready to move on to some other games?
I am.
Alrighty. Real quick here. All right. So starting off the week, we have the Buccaneers and the Falcons being played in Atlanta. They've already played once this year. Buccaneers won that game 48-25. Currently, the line is Tampa Bay minus 10.5 with an over/under of 50.5.
Whew. So that is we're talking Bucks, you said, right?
Bucks and Falcons.
Bucks and Falcons. You said 50
over/under is 50.5, and right now the line is on ESPN is Tampa Bay minus 10.5. However, like I said, they have already played this year, and the Bucks won that game in Tampa Bay 48-25. So before that, I was actually going to say, hey, I think Atlanta covers. But
I don't think they cover.
With how much of a dick punching they got last time, I don't know if they've gotten better. I think the Falcons are better than I was expecting them to be at the beginning of the year, but
they're not that good though. They're 5-6. They're in the fucking playoff hunt in the NFC because the NFC sucks ass.
Yeah, they are. There's only like 3 or 4 teams in the NFC that are not technically in the playoff hunt right now.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know. I'd like to say Cordell Patterson's going to go out there and put me up a whole bunch of points going against the Bucks, but I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure either. I don't feel like that's going to. I mean, he had a great game last week.
Yeah,
great game.
Coming back after that ankle injury, it was nice to see him do that.
But I think the Bucks, they're going to win for sure. I think they're going to actually cover this as well. The 50.5. That actually worries me a little bit. The Bucks have not been putting up a ton of points. The Falcons have been stagnant as shit on offense, with the exception of last week where Cordell Patterson went off. I would probably take the under. I hate taking unders because I like betting on good football. I like higher scoring games. But yeah, I got Bucks. I got the cover, and I'm going to say probably the under on the points.
I'm going to take the Bucks and the over on this one. Okay. I think that Atlanta has that capability to score, put up a bunch of points. Their last game, they totaled for 72 points. So I think we could definitely see that again. I think the Falcons are showing a little bit more offense. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. They're showing a little bit more offense this year than I was expecting. I think we can still see some of that. But Bucks definitely should win this game.
Yeah, that's I got no doubt. Bucks for sure on the money line. I'm going to take them 10.5 points on the spread because, well, I'm going to try to win as much money as possible. I have not made any of these picks yet, so we've been terrible with some of our picks recently. Last week, the only fucking person to pick a game right on our Lineman Lounge parlay was our guest, the Vanilla Gorilla, Dave Weidman. Yeah. And it seems like every time I do a bunch of research, I go in, I look at fucking DVOA and I look at all this shit. I get it wrong. So I'm winging it this week. I got Bucks and I got the cover, and I'm excited to see the way the rest of these go because some of these I have not looked at these games at all. We're gonna do it fucking live though.
All righty. Next game, Arizona Cardinals at Chicago Bears in Soldier Field. Line is Arizona minus 7.5, over under 42.5. Bears are starting Andy Dalton, and the backup quarterback is going to be Nick Foles.
All right, well, that's real easy for me to do this. Cardinals are going to smack them. Taking the Cardinals to cover the 7.5.
Now, it will be an outdoor game. It's going to be projected to be 39 degrees.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the weather.
Because they're not much of a running team. But even though James Conner is going to be running the ball, their Cardinals are a passing team.
They are a passing team. James Conner has been very good recently running the ball, though. And Kyler's back.
Yeah.
Kyler is fucking back. He posted on Twitter, which I thought was very weird, that he posted the gif of Thanos, like after he had completed his goal. If Tyler, if your goal has been completed, you're missing the bigger picture. I applaud the attempt, putting the gif out there saying, you know what, motherfuckers, I'm about to come over and take over shit. It was just not the right one. Maybe like getting the gauntlet going.
Meme game is weak. That's fine.
Yeah, meme game did not.
Football game is perfectly fine.
Yeah, football games were very good. The meme game, it was out of context for that meme, I thought. But yeah, I got Cardinals. I got them covering the 7.5. I'm surprised it's only 7.5. I have no faith in Andy Dalton. Now, if Andy Dalton gets hurt and fucking Big Pole Foles comes in,
Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, Big Dick Nick, Big Pole Foles. I don't care what you want to call him. He's great off the bench. That could be interesting. I don't think it'll make a fucking difference.
I don't think it'll make a difference. Yeah, I got the Cardinals in this one as well. 7.5, they probably are going to cover that, but with it being Kyler's first game back, you don't know. There might be a little bit of rust to shake off or something there. I'm just going to take the money line on this one, Cardinals over the Bears.
All right.
Next game, Chargers and Bengals being played in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's favored -3.
Yeah, I actually have Cincinnati in this game. Minus the 3 points. The Chargers, I don't know what happened to their offense. It's so handcuffed right now. We talked about it, look, 2 episodes ago, I want to say, maybe 1 episode ago, that they don't look like themselves. I don't know if it's the offensive play calling or if it's a quarterback just being leery about what he's seeing. I don't get it. Austin Eckler has been kind of a bust recently. At least last week he was, I want to say.
I have to go back and look. I think he's still been performing well for me on fantasy.
I mean, he maybe got but we're playing in a PPR league. I think he only got 30 yards and 30 yards.
He got 21.9 points last week. So 12 rushes, 31 rushing yards.
31 rushing yards.
And then 6 receptions, 68 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, so he had a little more receiving yards.
But he's still doing well for PPR.
But Herbert has just been, I don't know. He has not been letting it rip like I expected him to, like he did early in the season.
Yeah, Mike Williams has fallen off a little bit. He's still looking good. Their passing game just hasn't been as electric as it was to start off the year. I think they're normalizing a little bit more in how good their offense is. They have the potential to be a very good offense. It has just kind of dropped off a little bit, but I think that's that return to the mean for their offense a little bit more. This game is, like I said, Cincinnati -3 right now. I could see this being a close game. The Chargers do need to win if they want to continue to stay relevant.
Yes.
So
I'm actually rooting for Cincinnati in this game because I think it's a higher likelihood that we could have a better record than the Chargers at the end of the season than it will be the Bengals. The Chargers have a tough stretch, as do the Browns. Now we need to have a full game better than the Chargers at the end of the year because they have the head-to-head win. But I know they got to play Kansas City. They got the Raiders. Denver, I have no idea what the fuck I'm going to get out of Denver from week to week. So,
I mean, look, the Bengals have been rolling a little bit. They have played the Steelers. They have played the Raiders the past 2 games, and they've kind of blown both of them out.
Yeah.
But that's because it is the Steelers and the Raiders.
Raiders came back big, though.
Yeah.
I still like the Raiders a little bit.
I like Cincy. I think that they're a pretty damn good team. Joe Mixon, they've been running the rock a lot with him, and he's looked very good the past several weeks.
Very good.
I'm going to take the Chargers covering here.
Covering the 3.
Yeah, I would
very
like
close
to.
Game then, huh?
Yeah, I would like to see the Chargers kind of nut up or shut up right here. This is a big game for them, I think, for their season. I'm going to take the Chargers cover.
Chargers on the cover.
And I'm going to take the over. The over 50 right now.
49.5 is way too low. Definitely take the over in that game. And I say that, and then it'll be a fucking
100%.
no scoring game whatsoever.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it'll be a good game. But I see the Bengals maybe a push, but I think they can win by 4 I think they win by 4.
Yeah, that's like everything's telling me to pick the Bengals here, but I'm just going to go with the Chargers.
I'm going to go a little contrarian here,
yep.
huh?
Well, I've been picking so fucking wrong lately, just because the NFL is filled with so much parity this year. You're seeing crazy scores, wild scores, teams winning that you wouldn't expect. I got to go against my gut sometimes here. So I'm going to go Chargers covering there.
Listen, I understand. That's why I didn't want to fucking pick any games until right now because I've been off. So I'm going with the gut feeling. I'm not doing any research. I'm just letting it go. Letting the nuts swing.
Feeling it in your pills. All right, next game, we got Giants and Dolphins being played in Miami. The line is Miami -6, over and under of 39.5.
This is a terrible game.
Yeah, it could be a bummer game. Yeah, I'm going to take Miami in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami as well. The Giants aren't great. They haven't been good all year. Miami is starting to come on a little bit late from what we expected. Defense is playing better. Tua's looked actually pretty good the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to go Miami. I'm going to take Miami -6.5. I think they can win by a touchdown, especially because the Giants are not going to score any goddamn points. I mean, the over-under is 39.5. This is going to be one of the most boring fucking games all week.
What'd you think of Freddie Kitchens, though?
So I didn't really watch the Giants game. I know what Freddie is.
They blew out the Eagles 13-7.
Blew them out, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking generated 13 points. Wasn't one of those fucking scores a defensive touchdown as well?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't that fun of a game to watch, so I don't really.
I didn't watch that fucking game. I know what Freddie Kitchens is. He's a guy that calls fucking a draw play on fucking 4th and 16 when you're losing and you absolutely need a first down. I know what Freddie is. I watched fucking 16 games of it. More than that, because he was a play caller the year prior when he was the interim offensive coordinator, which at that time he looked okay calling plays. But as a head coach, as a consistent play caller, I don't trust him. They don't have enough talent on that fucking team.
At the end of the day, I don't really think it's going to matter who is the offensive coordinator there right now for the Giants. Danny Dimes is out. Mike Glennon's starting this game.
Oh God, I didn't know that. So yeah, give fucking hammer fucking Dolphins.
I kind of figured that they picked up Jake from State From. Off of the Bills practice squad to back up Mike Glennon this week. But yeah, Danny Dimes is going to be out with a neck injury. So that's the Eagles. Excuse me. The Dolphins are going to win this one.
That's not even close. I didn't know that Danny Dimes was out. Hey, I don't know if we got any comments. Will you click on the comment thing?
Nope, we're good.
No
one wants to talk.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're not on the Facebook, which kind of fucking sucks. So,
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh well.
But
yes, Danny Dimes out, so that might make you bet a little differently. I mean, you're saying bets, but for anyone watching, if you weren't aware, no Daniel Jones. Not that Daniel Jones is like the greatest thing since sliced bread or anything like that, but if you want a chance to win as the Giants, you probably want him in as your quarterback with the available options. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Mike Glennon.
I have almost no faith in Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon is one of those guys. He's in the quarterback contract Hall of Fame for not playing and making a fuck ton of money. Yeah. I don't know how he's still in the at one point, I was like, man, Mike Glennon can kind of play a little bit. This is a decade ago, though. Like, he's going to continue to fucking hang around. Somebody's going to give him fucking $5 million a year. I mean, good for Mike Glennon. Get your fucking money. Hey, get paid, baby. If you can, I don't care how you do it, get your money. Secure your bag.
I remember why I was I didn't watch the Giants-Eagles game last week, but I listened to it. I was listening to it as I was putting up some Christmas lights on my house at the Sirius XM and listening to them play the Eagles. And that's actually our next game that we're going on to here is the Eagles versus the Jets. Philadelphia is -7 for the line, over under 45. I like the Eagles in this one, but Jalen Hurts needs to pick his game up a little bit because he he didn't like the Eagles are in a position to win at the end of the game versus the Giants, and they didn't come through. Hurts was struggling, some inaccurate passes. I believe he threw an interception to kind of seal the game at the end. Hurts is the lifeblood of this Eagles offense. He has a lot of potential.
Yeah, they depend on him.
He's got to be reined in a little bit. He's got to be making some better decisions because, like I said, at the end of the game, I thought the Eagles were going to come back and win this one.
They should have. But so they had the ball late, right? I'm not like 4 minutes left, right?
Yeah, they were driving down, and I believe they got into the red zone or close to red zone territory to score when he ended up throwing an interception.
Yeah,
kind of sealed the game.
So and this is something I don't understand about Jalen. Like I understand Jalen's a quarterback, right? He wants to be a quarterback, but a lot of the
he
things
was nursing, I believe, an injury, a lower leg.
Okay, so that makes it
like
does make a difference,
which made it a little bit more difficult for him to use one of his main talents, which is scrambling.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that he could do to mitigate bad decisions. If you're not sure about a decision, fucking take off. You're one of those guys that you can run and you can create a bunch of shit on offense. Like there are not a lot of guys in the NFL like that. There's a handful.
He's 5 yards short of 700 rushing yards, and he has 8 touchdowns rushing.
Sorry, Grandma Debbie. Here we go again. This fucking thing. Every time I get a so this is tied to Amber's Apple ID.
Mm-hmm.
So when she gets a FaceTime or something like that, it comes through here, and then I decline it, and I get the fucking awful techno
sweet
beat.
marimba beat.
Yeah. What the fuck were we talking about?
Eagles, Jets. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, so Jalen, he has the ability to take off, to run. That's something that if you're not certain about a throw, do that. But if he's nursing a little bit of the lower leg, I understand why he didn't. They should have won. I had them winning. It fucked my parlay. But I still got them in this game.
Yeah, Eagles. So, did you want to have any comments on your favorite quarterback in the league?
Zach Wilson fucking sucks dick.
Okay,
that's all I got.
He ran one in last week, I believe.
Yeah, he ran one in. He can't fucking throw. He's so bad. He's not a quarterback. He's not a quarterback in the NFL. He played against inferior talent in college. He does not have good decision making. He does not throw on time. He does not throw in rhythm. All of the things that I have been saying since we had our draft special, before we even started doing this together, like it was me, you, and Goose. I wanted to do some cool shit for the draft, like for the draft coming up. We weren't even technically this podcast, me and you, yet.
Right.
And I've been saying that Zach Wilson fucking sucks. And guess what? He still fucking sucks. He's done nothing to dissuade my take on him.
You know what? I'll applaud the Jets. They have 3 wins. That's
more than
2 more than I thought they were going to get this year. I mean, they beat the Texans last week, so but it's good for them.
On the legs of Zach Wilson,
yeah,
the savior of Jets football.
Eagles should win this game. I don't feel comfortable with the -7. I don't know how Jalen Hurts is holding up right now with his injury status. I'm sure I could probably find something within a couple clicks here, but they're the better team.
Yeah.
They have the better quarterback. I fully expect the Eagles to win this one.
Zach Wilson's going to throw a pick. That is probably more likely than the Chiefs not covering at this point.
So Hurts is still questionable. Sirianni said Hurts' ankle will be listed as questionable for the game after splitting first-team practice reps 50-50 with Gardner Minshew this week.
Okay, so yeah, I don't care if Gardner plays; they're still winning.
Yeah, it does make me a little sad that Gardner's just been a backup this year. But.
Yeah, Gardner needs an opportunity somewhere. I feel like he can start. Now he's not going to be a top end guy. He's middle of the pack to the bottom 10, but he's a starter in this league, I think.
Yeah, I
give me Gardner over fucking Zach Wilson any day.
I bet, but I would not wish that upon Gardner.
I wouldn't. I don't want Gardner to go there.
I don't
either.
want to go to the Jets. I would have even though I like
give me Gardner over fucking Danny Dimes too.
True. Even though I like Heineke, I would think that would be a good situation for Gardner.
I like Heineke. I like Heineke's story. I think I like Gardner better as a quarterback, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we both got the Eagles on this one. It's Eagles -7 for the line. You taking that?
I am taking the Eagles minus the 7 points. The Jets fucking suck.
All righty. Next game, Colts and Texans being played in Houston. Indianapolis -10 is your line, over and under 45.5.
Colts for sure on the money line. No doubt in my mind. And I think the Colts, coming off of a game where they potentially could have and should have won had they kept it together in the second half, they're going to come out and smack the Texans. I got them on the cover here of Houston.
Yep, I have the Colts as well. I said it before. I think the Colts are kind of running away with things a little bit. Obviously not a great game last week, lost.
Playing the Bucs, though, they were leading that game for a very, very, very long time.
That was the weird thing with that game, is that it felt like the Colts were in control for the whole game, yet somehow the Bucs were still able to just kind of linger. And that's like it felt like the Colts game. It felt like their game, and then the Bucs just slowly ticked away, and they were able to come out with that win towards the end.
Well, that has a little bit to do with the GOAT being on the other side, and also fucking Lenny going ape shit in the second half, which was so good for me. Now, I didn't really need him to score 4 touchdowns because I beat the shit out of Spicy Mike in fantasy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be doing the same thing this week.
Yeah, it's actually makes me very excited. If I can win my fantasy game this week, it puts me in a tie for first place, and I have a losing record in my division. So I could still technically
first place in your division.
In my division.
Because I'm the standalone first place in the league.
My fucking fantasy team in our league sucks. They're terrible. I am not good in our league. I have had running back problems all fucking year. Tony Pollard has been basically my best back. But because everybody else has been so terrible and I beat the shit out of Mike last week, it puts me in a tie for first place if I win my game against the leader of our division and you beat Mike somehow at like fucking 5-7, I think I am. This is week 13, right?
Yeah.
I am 5-7 in our fantasy league, and I have a chance to make the playoffs by winning my division.
By the way, real quick public service announcement. Thanks for inviting Mike and I to golf this morning, you fucking assholes, Mike and Goose.
Wait, they fucking went golfing and didn't say shit?
Yeah. I got a notification, 18 birdies, saying that a round was being played, and so thanks, boys.
Oh,
love you guys,
bitches.
It would have interfered with the podcast.
I would have at least liked the invite.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting the invites for golf, Barstool is having a golf tournament up in Tucson on the 30th of December.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to tag Goose.
No, you're tagged in there.
Mike.
You're tagged in there.
Yeah, I am now.
So honestly, I was not expecting everyone to be on board with that because I'm expecting the registration fees.
It's gonna be $1,000.
Very expensive because you're going to the bowl game and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got the bowl game. You got interaction with the Barstool guys playing a golf tournament. I believe they're paying for fucking breakfast. Has the registration open
lunch,
for that?
Not that I know of.
So when registration opens, if we can get in on that, I am 100% down. I sent it to Amber. I said, hey, there's a golf tournament. Possibly, for Barstool.
I don't know if I can.
She's like, oh, that sounds awesome. I was like, hey, by the way,
if it's as expensive, we're expecting to be, I don't know. I can throw that.
So if it's $1,000, so I've looked at some of the other ones. It was about $1,000 a team. So that's $250.
Okay,
$250.
We're not winning.
Oh fuck no, we have no.
We're
chance.
Not. I think odds are that we would come in last place.
Yeah. So my goal is to go there, have a good time, drink some beer, be good from about 60 yards and in, which is really the only thing I'm good at in golf, and interact with the Barstool guys and be like, hey, by the way, we host this super fucking badass podcast. I don't know if you guys are looking for anybody else, but
yeah, it would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun to go play. If it's $1,000 for a team, like you're saying, that's doable. I think.
Yeah, $250
$1,000 a piece. ahead.
1,000 ahead, I'm out. 1,000 ahead, I'm fucking out. I don't got that kind of scratch.
But yeah,
like I said, it's Christmas. I got 3 kids. So
and you got a wife.
Yeah, who fucking loves Tarjay.
But yeah, it's 4-person golf scramble on the 30th of December in Tucson. Entrants can sign up as a twosome or a foursome, and then includes tickets to Thursday night's Pup Punk show. Don't know what that is.
So that's a band. The Barstool created like a fucking punk band.
Okay.
Super weird, but I'm down to check that out.
I'm down for all things Barstool.
Yeah.
But then also you get tickets to the Friday Arizona Bowl.
Who
Gifts,
we don't know who's
breakfast,
playing in that yet.
lunch, and more. We will be there. Registration comes soon. So that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be super
Definitely
dope.
something to talk
So
about.
we got to keep a lookout for the registration on that. I'm going to guess as soon as that shit opens up, it's going to fill up very, very fast.
Yeah, look, Tucson and Phoenix are two kind of like golf meccas. Phil Mickelson lives up in Tucson.
Yeah.
There's a golfing year round here.
Yeah, so that's the thing is there's gonna be a lot of
hitters.
there's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers coming from places where they can't play golf to come down and play golf.
Yeah.
So it's gonna go very
snowbirds down
quick.
here. We're in December.
Yeah.
So you got people coming from the northern territories down for a little bit of sunshine. It's gonna fill up pretty damn quick.
It's gonna fill very fast. But if we can find a way to make that happen, I am 100% down. I already told Amber.
And I'm sure we'd be
I
having
love
to
you,
play
but
from
I'm-
the tips.
we would absolutely have to probably play from the tips, which means I don't know if I'm getting to the fairway.
Yeah, I'll make sure I already can hit the long ball decent. I'll be on some beaver tranquilizers and some other steroids or something
There
like
we
that to
go.
make it happen because I don't think they do any sort of testing.
No. Like I said, 60 yards and in, that's my game. I don't hit the ball far anymore. So I would like to say that it's most of it is because of my shoulder. Also because I'm fucking fat and not nearly as strong as I used to be. So that definitely plays a role in that. But 60 yards and in, you get me on the fucking green, I could do some shit there. Drive for dough, drive for show, putt for dough. That's my game. I don't need to hit it far. I just got to get there in 3. And I got a chance at a par if I get there in 3. If I don't get there in 3, then then we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Back to football. So we've got Colts and Texans that we were just talking about. Colts -10 is the line. You said you're taking the line.
I got the line. Yeah, so I'm taking them to cover the 10 points.
I'm just taking money line. I'm just taking money line on most of these. I don't like taking these fucking covers anymore. But I had the Colts win this one all day.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. They're definitely winning. I got the cover though.
All right.
Because I'm putting together a parlay to win shitloads of money.
Absolutely. Hope the best for you.
Me fucking too.
All right. Next game, Washington and the Raiders. Being played in Vegas. Vegas -1.5 for this line. Over and under 48.5.
Washington is getting much better as a football team. And I am not down on the Raiders. I know we talked about it before. You were starting to get a little down on the Raiders. You had them, kind of having that drop off. They did look like they were having a drop off against Cincinnati. Came back, got a big win last week. I got the Raiders, and in a game this close, the cover here is easy. I got Raiders -1.5. Now, we talked about it. I like Heineke. Heineke is a great story. He's not a bad quarterback, but I think his career is as a backup in this league. He is a high-quality backup. He has been a starter who has won games. He fucking pushed the goddamn Bucks last year in the playoffs to the brink. He can fucking play ball. But his longevity in his career is as a backup. So I'm going to go with the Raiders, -1.5. I see this being a close game-ish. I think 3 for sure. It might even be a 4-point game with the Raiders hitting the cover there.
I got the Raiders to win, Washington to cover. Some interesting things with this. So Antonio Gibson looked real good last game. One of his best games as a professional. However, he didn't get the touchdowns. Those were coming from J.D. McKissick. Whenever they're in that red zone, McKissick was in there. He's definitely more their dynamic receiving back, though Gibbs can do it all. The difference here, is that McKissick is out with a concussion. He left at the end of last game. So he's going to be out. So it's going to be all on Gibson's shoulders, which hopefully will bode well for me in fantasy.
Me too.
But last week, Washington did get the win. They were playing the Seahawks. I expected them to beat the Seahawks, but the Seahawks had a chance to tie the game up.
They actually did one of the hardest things in all of football to do, and they recovered a fucking onside kick.
And then it was
subsequently pulled back because the fucking
guy was lined up incorrectly
inside the hash.
Rule that I didn't know.
I didn't know. So I didn't know the rule from my playing days. Did not pop into my mind about like they're like, oh, there's a wrong alignment. It's like, fucking where? They're even on both sides. And then he said he's inside the hash. I was like, oh fuck yeah, that's a thing. I forgot about that. So yeah, that was awful. I thought the penalty was thrown on an early touch.
Yep.
It was very close to an early touch, but he hit it right at the line. They don't get the recovery because of the illegal alignment. And it's like, I mean, that's Seattle's year this year, though.
And look, this game was too close for how Seattle's been playing. This game was too close for how Russell has been playing. Russell Wilson didn't look good in this game.
And
he was inaccurate. He was overthrowing.
He's nervous. I think he's very nervous because that finger is not there yet. He rushed his way back. If he fucks that same finger up again this early, there's a chance that they'll fix him for the rest of his career. He looks nervous. He will not step up in the pocket. He is not going through and
not confident.
He's not. And he's still throwing inaccurate balls. He's still throwing errant balls. And they still found a way to come back and be close. Yes, I know I've been on FanDuel for a long time. I don't have a gambling problem. And that makes me worried for this Washington team because a team that looks awful in Seattle was able to make this game way closer than it was.
Yeah.
Because Washington controlled the entire fucking game. Antonio Gibson is an absolute stud. Now, he can catch it out of the backfield. He's not the typical guy to do that, but he was a receiver in college.
Yeah. He's a wide receiver, and he's bulked up a little bit. He's become that good running back. I like his game a lot.
I do too.
The thing is that they do mix in McKissick, who is definitely more of the receiving option out of the two of them. And it'll be interesting to see how Gibson is able to perform taking on the full workload.
Yeah, so I think he can. They're gonna spell him with somebody. I don't know who the fuck it's gonna be. I know it's not. I know it's not gonna be Adrian Peterson.
There's a running back named Patterson that they have.
Patterson.
Yep. Who didn't look like anything special. So
yeah, I mean, they could have picked up a guy, Adrian Peterson. We'll get to that a little later. A guy that was on that organization at one point. But yeah, I got the Raiders, and I have the Raiders covering the 1.5. And I'm not sure why you're taking Washington.
I'm taking
1.5.
I'm taking the Raiders to win, but I think that it'll be. I think that'll be a close game where Washington could cover.
Okay, I mean we're talking a missed extra point away.
Yeah, I'm still low on the Raiders.
Low on the Raiders. Got it. All
right. Next game, we got the Jags and the Rams being played in California. Rams -13, over and under 48.
All right. So, like I said when we started this, I have not made my picks yet. +13 is a fuck ton.
The Rams have the potential to do that, but they just haven't been playing that.
You're absolutely right. I'm taking the Jags +13. Rams on the money line because the Rams are a far superior team. But the offenses looked terrible for the Rams since, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. Weird how they lose a very good wide receiver who does a lot of things in that offense well, runs the right routes, fucking run blocks in Robert Woods, and they add a guy who runs the wrong routes. And we did see OBJ get a touchdown last week. But we also saw multiple times where Stafford looked his way, where he did look open, but he's not in the right spot. Most quarterbacks are throwing to spots in the NFL, and he's not in the right spot. This offense has been disjointed. The Jags, I think, can stay close. They may get a backdoor cover here and score some garbage time points. But I think the Jags can cover plus 13. I'm not taking 13. I don't know if the Rams will win by 2 touchdowns.
I'm just taking the Rams. I like
Rams on the money line for sure. I
Rams
got the
money
Jags
line.
on the cover.
Yeah, I'm not willing to take the covers, especially when they're that big. But
well, the Jags
Rams
plus 13.
Yeah,
I mean I don't know how I don't take that.
I gotta start winning some more money, so I'm just taking the money line.
Taking the money line.
Yep. All right, next game: Ravens and Steelers being played in Pittsburgh. Baltimore minus 4.5 according to ESPN. Over and under of 44.
This game is tough for me to call. The Ravens have not looked great. The Browns played a very good game against the Ravens on defense. One of the best things that the fucking Steelers do is play really good defense. Now, they were not great last week against the Bengals, but this Ravens offense is not the Bengals offense. They run a 180 fucking opposite of what the Bengals do on offense. The Bengals offense is predicated on passing for the most part, and they're getting Joe Mixon going. The Ravens run the ball with the opportunity to eventually throw the ball. Lamar is an absolute stud. No doubts about it. Fucking NFL defensive MVP of the year, defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett dapped him up for making a great play during the last game. He can do things that other people can't do. When Lamar's on the field, he's the best athlete on the field. Plain and simple. But I think the Steelers can actually kind of keep this game close if they can get a receiver to win a one-on-one matchup. The Ravens are really bad in pass coverage. They're really bad. Like, people have been burying Baker throughout the week on Browns Twitter, and I don't know why. Baker played a really good fucking game with the exception of about 4 or 5 throws. Now, if you add 5 throws, his completion percentage is not that high, but that wasn't on Baker. There were people doing the wrong thing. And if you guys are Browns fans, go watch the fucking YouTube video with Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner breaks down the game film from the Browns because Kurt Warner's getting tired of hearing all the bashing of Baker when it's not his fault. And I went and I watched it, and I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, there's some things that are going on in that offense that are really bad for the Browns. But the Steelers' offense is really good at short combination routes, which is what we kind of ate the Ravens up with. The Steelers' defense is pretty damn good.
TJ Watt's off the COVID list.
TJ Watt is back. They can generate pressure. We've seen some recipes on how to beat the Ravens, and that's with pressure. Now they get TJ Watt back. They don't have to go zero pressure because that Pittsburgh front can generate enough pressure with 5. If they want to bring an extra guy, they will absolutely be able to get to Lamar. So on the money line, I am taking the Ravens to win.
Same.
I am taking the Steelers to cover 4.5. That's where I'm at.
All right. I'm not taking the fucking the covers.
Not doing it?
Nope. Money line, Ravens.
I'm
playing
Ravens?
it safe.
Okay.
Playing it safe.
So
this could be a closer game for sure. I do like how the Steelers defense can match up against the Ravens, and I do think the Ravens have been overrated for most of the year. The Ravens are Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson isn't overrated. The Ravens are overrated.
okay. Yep.
So that's where I'm at. We've seen where the weaknesses are. Other teams have seen that. If the Ravens aren't able to adjust and figure that out, which I don't think they have to this point, in order to overcome that, then the Ravens are going to be what the Ravens are, which is Lamar Jackson. Ravens win this game to me. I think the Steelers could keep it close. If I was taking the line, I would be doing the same as you. I would be taking the Steelers to cover and Ravens to win the game.
All right.
But I'm not taking.
You're not doing it. You're
not taking the
trying
loss.
to win that money.
Yeah. All right, next game, we got the 49ers and the Seahawks. San Francisco -3. The Seahawks are bad, man. The Seahawks are bad. Russell Wilson hasn't been looking good. Until that changes, I'm not taking them to win the games. Even though this is a bit of a rivalry game, I have the 49ers winning this one. I would actually take the 49ers to cover.
Yeah, so I got 49ers and I got a cover on the 3.5. We just kind of broke down what happened with the Seahawks. They're not good. Russell is scared. He is nervous. He is leery to throw the ball.
Now, the 49ers are missing Debo, I believe.
I don't care.
Most dynamic offensive player, but they still have other offensive weapons.
I still like Brandon Ayuk, even though he hasn't got the ball as much as I had hoped or thought he would. He is still very dynamic. And
They got Kittle back.
They do have Kittle back.
He didn't do much last week, but they got Kittle.
That Seahawks offense, they need a run game. They don't have one. Now, they added a piece this week that maybe will help. I still have a little bit of faith in this guy, in Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm. And he was signed to the practice squad, but he is being
immediately elevated. I kind of figured as soon as they signed him,
activated for the game, which is a good thing for them because he'll be the best running back on the roster,
hands down.
But I don't know if that's enough to put them over the top by any means. I mean,
no.
Again, going back to the Seahawks last week, they targeted DK Metcalf
three fucking
times.
That was it.
Which was great for me because I was predicted to lose my game. And DK Metcalf did nothing, so I ended up winning my game.
DK over 40 yards, like almost nothing.
And he was missed. He was missed at the end.
We are getting a call
for a touchdown. Oh shit! Who we got?
Joe Rockstar Joseph Kamai. You are on with the Lineman Lounge. What you got for us, my guy?
To accept, press 1.
Oh no! There it is. Joe Rockstar, my guy.
What's up?
What's up, big guy? What you got for us? All right, let's go Niners. I agree.
Talk about the Niners game. I'm just going to tell you right now. You guys got me all wrong. I am the most faithful Niners fan. I just have logic as well. So those two things fight once in a while.
I understand. I'm a Browns fan. He's a Vikings fan, so we totally get you.
It's that dichotomy of being a sports fan with a team that loves to let you down. Logic and heart, they go against each other.
Logic and heart. Yeah, they go against each other. But I'm feeling good about this one, guys. I'm telling you, obviously, for obvious reasons. But having Debo out, not a problem. And for those people who are doubting Kittle, stop looking at the box score. Watch what the guy does on the offensive line.
Kittle?
Oh yeah,
Kittle, yeah, absolutely.
We talked about this.
What he does for our run game.
We talked about this last week, 2 weeks ago. Kittle. So we had somebody on Facebook say that Kittle has been really not great this year. He hasn't been, but that was due to injury. And what he can do in the run game to help that offense go makes a drastic difference as compared to basically every other tight end, with the exception of a guy who is literally just an inline tight end who is in there as an extra tackle to block. Yeah. He can do multiple things.
Kittle had his worst game last week in a box score fashion, but his assistance in the run game it's just one of those things that's not going to show up in the stats. Kittle has looked fantastic since coming back from injury. I was watching some of it, yeah.
I know you were watching. Did you see Kittle make a block on 3 separate guys in one play? I mean, it was beautiful. I'm sure you didn't feel that way at the time, buddy.
No, I closed my eyes to that one.
It was a great game. So I'm expecting, I'm pretty good at calling the scores when it doesn't benefit me, so I can't put any money on it. But I'm going to actually go with a low-scoring game this time because even though the Seahawks haven't looked so good, guys, they've got a pretty decent defense. Box scores don't tell the whole story, of course. They may give up some yards here and there, but they're doing good.
I don't know. I got to disagree. I think that Seahawks defense has looked like absolute dog water.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're saying that the Seahawks defenses look good. They have been opportunistic, but they have.
That's how they always are, though.
I think the 49ers are going to impose their will on a very weak defense. Unless Jamal Adams can come up and do a lot of things in the box, I expect a huge game out of the Niners this week.
And the Seahawks defense has been horrible. They've been horrible against the run. And one thing about that Shanahan 49ers team is they like to run the ball. You see those end runs. You see how they were using Debo, even though Debo's not playing. They like to run the ball. And so that is going to be the dagger that puts Seattle down, is that 49ers are going to continue to run the ball. You're going to see Kittle out there doing his blocking game. And that's going to end up being the key to success for the 49ers, is they're just going to run the ball down Seattle's throats.
I agree.
So you got to figure out who's got control of my mouth right now, the heart or the logic. And the heart's going to tell you guys this is a division game, and it's not paper, and that's how it always is with the Seahawks. No matter how bad they are, they could have the Jets team. And the Niners will struggle a little bit with them for whatever reason. Maybe call it playing down to the competition or whatever. So I'm thinking it's going to be a low-scoring game, but we'll see. I'm going to call it, let's say, 21-17 Niners.
21-17 on the Niners from Joe Kamai. Joe, we really appreciate your call, man.
Yeah. Now you say the heart, the logic, those have all factors in. What does your penis tell you?
Say again?
What does your penis tell you? You've talked about the heart. You've talked about the logic. What does that tip of the penis tell you?
My penis tells me that Jimmy Garoppolo is a sexy man.
All right. Hey, that's true.
All right. On that note, sorry, Joe, we love you, but I had to cut you off there. I was not going to let that conversation go too much farther.
We would have spiraled down.
We would have absolutely spiraled down a rabbit hole. So he had 21-17.
And that would be San Francisco covering.
That is San Francisco covering. I got San Francisco -3.5. I don't like the Seahawks. I don't think they're very good at the football. Jamal Adams got another pick last week. First time in his career. He has had multiple interceptions.
I love that he has the same amount of interceptions as Vince Wilfork.
He may have more now because he got one last week.
I think they both have 3.
Okay.
I think they both have 3 career
The fucking Jamal is a linebacker. He's a small linebacker. He's a big safety with no ball skills. I think that the only way that Seattle can even keep this close is putting Jamal in the box.
He does have 4 now.
Yeah, 4 now. 4 now because last week off the tip where he didn't actually play coverage.
Yep.
I unless Jamal is in the box 100% of the time, forcing action, the Seahawks cannot contend with this fucking 49ers team. This 49ers team, I said early on in the season that they were not going to be a playoff team, but I picked every team in this division to be over 500. And I think the only reason the Seahawks aren't is because of Russell's injury early and his subsequent timid play after. So 49ers covering 45.5. I would take the fucking under. Joe had it 17-21.
Yeah.
That gives it 38.
Yeah. I believe the under would be a good play in this one as well. I like the 49ers money line. I like them to cover, and I like the under.
Yep. Agreed. We're all on board there.
All right. That takes us to Sunday Night Football, Broncos and Chiefs being played in Kansas City. The line is Kansas City -9.5, over under a 47, according to ESPN.
Go ahead.
I mean,
yeah,
Kansas City should win this game. They should. I don't ever like picking Kansas City to cover because they just don't. Closer game than you would expect. I think it'll be a closer game than you would expect. I'm seeing a 3 to 4 point difference in total, but the Chiefs end up squeaking this one out.
So the Chiefs are going to win. Take the Chiefs on the money line. No problem. But when things happen once, okay, cool. When they happen twice, coincidence. If they happen 3 times, now it's becoming a trend, right? The Chiefs are going to cover. I can't believe I'm fucking saying it. The Chiefs are going to fucking cover. They're going to beat the shit out of the Broncos. The Chiefs are back. The defense ain't great, but that Chiefs offense is fucking back. They are going to cover because they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire back. They can run the ball a little bit. That the offense is starting to get kind of back to where we saw them in previous years. Andy Reid is actually kind of changing the way he's doing some of his plays. You're starting to see some different things out of that offense. a lot before it was a lot of pre-snap action. We're still seeing quite a bit of that, but it's actually toned down a little bit, and it is giving Pat the opportunity from that shotgun. Obviously, pre-snap motion is typically pretty good, but for some reason, when they are lining up and running the play, they're running a set, it has been easier. It's been more smooth. It's been an easy transition in that offense. Like, he is not processing 100 things at a time. Pat is a great quarterback. He has all the physical skills that you could ever want. The only guy I would put in a comparable situation as having that many physical skills as a quarterback would be Aaron Rodgers. I know you fucking hate that, but physically gifted, those are the two guys at the top. Flat out. That I know you don't agree. Physically gifted, whether you like it or not, that's what they are. So when you simplify things, when you pull those back, you allow Pat's physical abilities to start to be able to do some stuff. They've simplified this offense a little bit. It has absolutely been working in their favor. I got the Chiefs. I got the cover. The Broncos, I don't. I may see Teddy play a terrible first half. And then I may see Drew Lock in the second half play worse. They still have not been consistent with who their quarterback is throughout an entire game. Now, at one point, it was because Teddy got banged up with the concussion, but Teddy's also not looked great. And then they brought in Drew, who's going to throw a pick. Drew is a lock to throw a pick. Trademark that. I don't like this Broncos team on offense, because what they should be doing is running it down people's throats with two very good, different type dynamic backs, and they're not. Their defense is very good. But the only thing I worry about on Kansas City's team is their defense, and the Broncos offense has done nothing to show me that they're going to stress them at all.
So, taking Kansas City, I'm not taking the cover. I'm taking Pat Surtain to get an interception, and I'm taking Tyreek Hill to have 200 or more all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns.
Whew. Damn! What does the parlay on that pay?
I don't fucking know.
We should look, because 200 all-purpose yards, and Pat Surtain is fucking awesome. He is so good. He was a guy who didn't even start the season as a outside starting corner.
Yep, injuries pushed him into the role. And he has been absolutely phenomenal since he has got there. He is trending. He's a Pro Bowl guy. Maybe not this year as a rookie, but that's a guy who's going to be in the Pro Bowl soon. I think that he's got to be in the conversation, top 2 or 3 for defensive rookie of the year. Yeah, with like Micah Parsons is up there. But yeah, that's he's
and Joke, by the way, who's the highest rated rookie on PFF.
Though he is in the defensive rookie conversation, the last I saw, which was in the past 5 days or so, like that, he's like number 9 on the list, which was surprising to me. Actually,
Surtain?
Joke
number 9 on the list of best defensive rookies.
Yeah, there's some guys in there that I didn't even recognize the names, like cornerbacks. I didn't recognize names. It was surprising.
If Joke's not in your top 3, I don't respect your opinion.
I don't remember
you
where this was
watch
from.
One fucking Browns defensive fucking drive, like defensive stand. Joke is everywhere.
But look, I was surprised to not see him up there. But I don't even remember where it was, where I saw that report from, where the list was from. So who knows if it even is really that accurate.
Well, he did miss a few weeks with injury, so that may be driving him down the list.
Maybe.
Still PFF's number 1 rated rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a time where I agree with PFF.
That's my take on the game. I don't know if you got anything else for Sunday night before we move on to Monday.
No, I Chiefs cover.
All right.
I don't know why. Everything tells me not to take the cover. I've done this once already, and it bit me in the ass. I'm doing it again. Chiefs on the cover.
All righty. Monday night, we got Patriots and Bills. This should be a pretty good game being played in New York. Buffalo is favored -2.5. Over and under at 41.5.
Does this line seem off to you? Like, I feel like the lines would have been flip-flopped.
I almost want to say that it's even.
Yeah, this could be a pick 'em, but I don't see Bills minus 2.5. If anything, I'd have thought Patriots minus 2.5.
Yeah.
Are they really giving that much credence to being in Buffalo? That's what's pushing the Bills?
I don't know. It's supposed to be 36 and snowy.
But it's the Patriots. I mean,
the Patriots are known for playing in that bad weather. It's surprising because the Patriots, again, they have come on as of late. They are.
Don't they have the best fucking record in the AFC right now?
They are 8-4, 5-0 away.
Okay, so the Ravens have the best record at 8-3. But they're right there. The Bills have not looked great in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen has been making some uncharacteristic mistakes. I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. I thought he was making a lot of strides. The guy who I thought was going to be in the MVP conversation. I would not put him in my top 5 right now at all. And Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback from this draft, as somebody wearing a red hat and no sleeves predicted. I don't understand this line. Give me the Patriots plus the fucking points. I
like the Bills to win this game. That's what my heart tells me.
Oh,
but my gut
man.
tells me I'm taking the Patriots plus 2.5. I'm taking the Patriots. They're coming on as of late. They're building into the end of the year, which is your formula to go deep in the playoffs. It's a Belichick thing. He's doing it again. Mac Jones is performing fantastic.
The progression of Mac Jones. So early in the season, there were you could see the reins being pulled on Mac Jones, right? You could see that the offense was neutered early in the season. Now they are starting to develop. Mac Jones is a smart fucking guy. Like, that was one of the things that everybody touted about him coming out in the draft. He is so goddamn smart. If there's a guy who could, process all the things that Bill's telling him out of this quarterback class, it was Mac Jones. And now we're starting to see him take that next step. Now, he does not have an electric arm. Like, he looks like he's throwing fucking lollipops sometimes when he's out there. But they're right where they should be. I will take an accurate ball over a fucking cannon any day. Any fucking day. An accurate ball gives your guy a chance. And that's what he does. They have been so efficient. They don't have to make huge explosive plays because they don't fucking make mistakes. They're playing damn near mistake-free football in all 3 phases. Give me the Patriots and give me the points. Now, the Bills are very good. I'm not saying they're not. And I think Raheem Mostert, right? Just got they scratched Zach. The fuck is his name? Zach Moss. The last game elevated Raheem Mostert, who I thought would have a big role in this offense early in the year, is now starting to get that opportunity. I want to say it's Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert's playing.
Is it Mostert? Yeah. Yep. So they're starting to do some things that I expected to do because Mostert is a different type of back. So they could keep this close. But the Patriots with the points, that's got to take it.
We're both on board. We're taking the Patriots with the points on this one. Mm-hmm. This is the way that they've been playing. Look, the Bills are a very dangerous team. They just have not been playing dangerous lately. I need to see them play like they were in the beginning of the year in order for me to be back on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our Sunday night game. Gonna jump back once more. The Browns are on bye this week.
They are.
But my Vikings are playing in Detroit versus the Lions. The line is currently Minnesota minus 7.5. I'm taking the Lions on the spread there, and this is trap game.
Yeah, I got the Lions covering the spread as well. Lions play everybody close. You guys are going to be without.
Vikings play everyone fucking close too.
The Vikings play everybody close too. So this is
Dalvin Cook is out at least 2 weeks, probably more. Probably should be more. We've actually got a bunch of significant names on the injury report. Eric Kendricks is questionable. Barr is questionable. We are getting Michael Pierce back and Dalvin Tomlinson back, I believe, both of them, which will be great for our interior defensive line. I do trust in Madison at running back, and we also have Kenny Wangu, who was hurt for the first time that we played the Lions, but he's our third running back now that Amir Abdullah is with, I believe, Cincinnati or something. He got picked up off of our practice squad. I love Kenny Wangu. He's looked good as a returner so far. We haven't gotten to see him in the backfield because he didn't play earlier in the season because of injury. I do like the Vikings to win this game. However, trap game. This could be the Lions' first win. I do see the Lions covering the -7.5. As much as I would like to think that we're just going to pummel the Lions, you can't sit on any team that's 0-10, and you can't sit on any team playing the Vikings right now because we like to play everyone close. We won our last game with the Lions barely, unfortunately. So, look, Kirk has been playing very well. I don't want to get into what happened last game because I don't feel like getting pissed off too much here at the end of the podcast. The way that the end of that game ended up going with him lining up on a guard and all that shit, just upsetting.
Yeah, that's not a great look for somebody who's in the MVP conversation.
Yeah. So, look, Vikings should win this game. Shoulds doesn't mean that it's going to be. Again, trap game. Lions should cover this line.
Yeah. So I got Minnesota on the money line, and I got Detroit covering 7.5. Detroit plays everybody close. Now, I do think them losing fuck's his name? I just read the running back's name.
For the Lions?
Yes. I was going to say Swift, not Sweat. Swift, losing Swift is a big blow, but Jamal Williams is a guy that we've seen in Green Bay who can do a lot of fucking really good things. I believe Goff is going to play. He should be good to go. The Vikings missing a huge part of their offense in Dalvin Cook. So I don't know that the Vikings can cover this. In my gut, it tells me this is a game. And like you're saying, this is a trap game. This is a game where the Lions could actually get a win. Division game. Dan Campbell could be at the podium crying for winning a game finally. I don't think that will happen. I think the Vikings can still win. I do like Madison. He's a good back. But the Lions covering, to me, is almost a no-brainer. They play everybody close. You guys play everybody close. The spread's over a touchdown. I don't like that at all. So it was
1917 the last time that we played them. So, a close game. Cook didn't play in this game either. The last time that we played the Lions, Madison was 25 carries for 113 yards out of the backfield. However, he did have that fumble late in the game, which kept the Lions into it. Look, we have to stick with the game plan that we've kind of been running, which is
throw the fucking ball to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, if we continue to feed Jefferson, which in this game was another one of those games that we ended up winning, he got 7 catches for 124 yards.
And it was still close, though.
And it was so close. Absolutely. And this was the time of the year that our offense, where I was just like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we running such a slow-paced, lethargic offense? We've picked it up some. We have picked it up some. If we stick with that game plan, even with Madison being the one running the ball, I think that we can win this game. We should win this game, but I'm just not inspired or super confident in the direction the team is heading currently. And I'll just kind of really be down in the dumps if we do lose this game, because I'm teetering back and forth at this point of what's the future for our team. So we'll see. Trap game. Lions to cover.
I think they can get the win. Lions to cover, though.
Yep. All right, man. And that is our football games for the week.
That is all the picks. Now I do want to spend a little bit of time on the Browns. Browns are on a bye this week. And thank God we're on a fucking bye. We absolutely needed it. We were so banged up. This is one of the most injured football teams in the entire NFL. I still believe that the Browns have a chance. I think we can win 4 or 5 to finish out the year and have a chance at making the playoffs. The only game I see us basically for sure losing is the Green Bay. But I think we can get the Ravens. We showed that we can play with the Ravens. I think we can get the Raiders. We can beat the Steelers. And we've already beaten the Bengals. That's 4 wins. And we're going to need at least 4 wins to make a run at this thing. Baker's going to have some time to get healthy. And for all the people on Browns Twitter who have been burying Baker, I highly recommend you go check out Kurt Warner's film breakdown of the last game.
I do like all the memes out there that Baker Mayfield is just a sober Johnny Manziel. I mean, it's funny to me. But
I get it. I don't
know if it's true, but
it's not. When you look at the game film, if you actually Kirk does a really good job of breaking down what's supposed to happen, what the reads are, what the looks are. Now, for me, I have some knowledge. I've spent more time than I care watching fucking game film as a high school player, as a college player, hours and hours of my time has been spent watching film. So I understand it a little bit. And when you see the things that Kurt is breaking down, you're like, well, fuck. I mean, he's making the right reads. He's making the right throws. Now, there's a couple of throws that are bad. They're not great. Everybody misses throws, though. Nobody's perfect. When you look at the offense and you see the things that he's looking for, Baker's not playing bad ball. He's hurt, and it is affecting him. That is a fact. That is true as the fucking sky is blue. But we can still win with Baker at this rate. Our GM came out and said as much. Baker is good enough. He is healthy enough to play. He's healthy enough to win. They expect big things. I do as well. I think we can win 4 or 5. I really, really do. Especially after watching the film. Baker's making the right reads. He's doing the right things.
And that would put you at 10-7. You think that's enough to get you in? Get you on the dance floor?
It depends on who else is at 10-7. That gives us a chance. Do I think it gets us in? I'm not sure. We're in crunch time in the NFL. We could see some teams fall off. I could see the Raiders maybe taking a dive. I could see the Chargers maybe taking a dive if they don't fucking unhitch the wagon on their offense. So maybe we could get in. And if you get into the dance, anybody's got a shot. Baker's not playing bad. He's hurt. We did not run the ball well. That is a big part of our game. I still like the Browns to finish with 10 wins this year because I think we can beat at least 4 teams. If we get real lucky, we could maybe beat the Patriots. I'm sorry, the Packers. The Packers.
I would love to see it. So, quick update. Baylor, Oklahoma State. It's 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma State has made a little bit of a comeback there within one score. It is a 7-point game, 21-16. Baylor does have the ball, but they have a long 3rd and 15 right now in not across the 50-yard line yet. It looks like they're at the 22.
22.
So we could be seeing a close game here in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship.
Oklahoma State has had a lot of momentum. I've had that game up on over here. They're doing some things.
So we'll see how that game ends up turning out. We might be done with the show, but that means it's a good time for everyone that's watching to possibly kick on that game and see what's going to happen there at the end because it's going to have some potential big playoff implications. Also, one thing that I wanted to note, and I think this it was brought up to me by our buddy Joey Lagan. He sent me a TikTok the other day, which has actually picked up a little bit of steam here towards the end of the week that I've seen on Facebook and stuff. Someone did, the face swap type thing where it turns NFL quarterbacks into females, what they would look like if they were females. Mm-hmm. And then a guy is commenting, how many beers would it take to hit
I've seen it, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. And so Joey suggested that we talk about that on the podcast. And I said, you know what? That's actually a pretty funny thing. I think it would be kind of funny to go over. However, it would be tough to do it here in the middle of the season. So something that we might be looking at here, maybe once NFL season is over, or once we have a little bit of a break in between regular season and playoff action, maybe something that we can go over.
Yeah.
Any fun ideas like that, by all means, shoot them to us. If we have to kind of shelve them until later, that's fine. But it's stuff that we'd like to talk about, at least fun things like that, you know, the fans would like to see. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not a little bit misogynistic, but, you know, it is what it is.
We're talking about guys.
Yeah.
But, yeah, absolutely. Send us that shit. Send it to us on Twitter, Facebook. I know we didn't get the stream up on Facebook today. We're going to fucking figure out what the hell's going on with that. StreamYard was being a real fucking bitch today about that. But you can hit us up on Instagram as well. TikTok, you could go ahead and send wherever you want. I can't fucking see it because I'm still waiting for the review to be done on why I was banned or why we were banned from the TikTok. I did create another one, have not posted anything yet, just in case the other one never comes back. You guys can also call in, hit us up on the email, linemanlounge@gmail.com. Anywhere that you guys can get a hold of us, send us those ideas, man. We're totally down to do it. You guys have seen that we don't really hold back. We are down to we'll let it rip, no matter what the topic is, and shit like that's fun. It creates a interesting dynamic to the show. I love breaking down games. I love talking games. I also like the interactions in between, though, like where we're fucking talking about just random shit. You guys get to hang out with us, even though you're not necessarily here with us. And if you guys interact with the show while we're live, we get a chance to interact back. We get a chance to, you know, kind of be with you, even though we're not in the same room. So I love that kind of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. And thanks for Joe Rockstar calling in today. That was a nice little highlight in the show. It was nice to have someone call in and get some fun action on that 49ers game. So thanks, Joe, for calling in. That was awesome. But man, I think that that pretty much gets us close to wrapping it up, huh?
That's it, man. I got nothing else. Fuck Keith Olbermann.
Yeah, he can take a trip to the train station, I think.
Ooh, I love your little fucking Yellowstone reference, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is the Lineman Lounge. We are the thickest podcast in sports. On Sleeveless Mike, this is Evo. It has been a great time hanging out with you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. And we'll be back next week. I think 11 a.m. Probably we're going to – oh, actually, we have an issue next week. I'm going to be out of town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be up in Flagstaff doing a little family vacay. We're actually going to try to go to the snow since we don't get any down here. There may or may not be a show. We'll see. Kind of. We'll talk
I might have a couple issues the next 2 weekends, and so we might have to maneuver the show around a little bit or do them at different times. We'll see how we can work it out.
So next week there may or may not be a show. Check out the social media. We had some plans to go sledding. Fucking place isn't open. Of course it's not.
Because COVID thrives in snow.
Yeah. So if I get the chance, we can do one next week. I will be remote. Then the week after that, we got the ugly sweater party here at the house. So if we do one, it'll be fairly early. That way we can get this done. We can get everything processed and then get wasty faced that night. But yeah, guys, all updates on when shows are coming out is going to be on social. So check out the socials. We'll let you know. But we're not going anywhere. We'll be back at some point as soon as we actually work out our schedule. We'll let you guys know. We'll be back, fucking bringing the heat, letting it rip like we always do. Because that's one thing I love about the show is I don't got to hold back shit. So guys, thank you very much once again. Fuck you, Keith Olbermann. And this has been the Lineman Lounge. See you.
Oh, yeah, I got to turn this off now, huh?
B-roll.
Ooh.